Thank you for joining us, Don, and being with us today. Tell us just briefly, if you would, a little bit about your background and the wooden floor.
Thanks, Sean. My name is Don Reese. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Wooden Floor, and I have a great career. I started my first half of my career in the technology sector and management consulting. And about 15 years ago, I decided to bring all that strategy into the nonprofit sector. And so I believe that the nonprofit sector is really today about social innovation and how do we drive social change through some business and strategic planning initiatives that I think the sector is really evolving into. And so I had found a home inside the sector. The Wooden Floor is a creative youth development organization that provides 475 children after school year-round with dance education that we strategically integrate with academics, college and career readiness, and social services. We have 2 locations in Santa Ana, and we also have a licensed partner now in Washington, D.C. that's replicating our model out there. We've served over 95,000 young people since we started in 1983 through this really transformative power. We believe that dance education really is not just about moving in the dance studio, it's about moving in life. Most of our children are considered low or extremely low income for Orange County. Typical family of 5 is about $37,000 a year, which if you know anything about Orange County, California, it's very low income. And so a lot of that, we have challenges, even though, you know, they're inspired through dance. The fact that they come from very low income communities brings all kinds of challenges to both the student and their families. And so they're with us for 10 years, from 3rd grade all the way through high school. And we're very fortunate to say 100% of our students have graduated high school on time and immediately enrolled in higher education since 2005. And we work really hard at that to make sure that we help our students see that dream for college and beyond.
What do you think that the students are learning about themselves right now?
So I think there's a couple things. One is that the Wooden Floor, because we make that long-term deep commitment to them and their families, they often say we're a second home. So when you think of a second home philosophy, we take that really seriously, like they're family to us, you know. So we really make sure that we're meeting them where they are. There's no judgment to anything they bring to us, and how do we help and keep them in a safe environment. It's part of our guiding principles and the work we do in our theory of change is creating that safe and healthy environment. So that's our number one issue, is just making sure they can express themselves. And what they're telling us, the expressions of gratitude is just, you know, really phenomenal. They are just thanking us for connecting to them directly in their homes. And we're like, well, why wouldn't we? You're like family.
How has this been for you as a leader of the organization in the midst of a crisis? Like, what have you been learning about your leadership style, or just about your own reflection and your thoughts going through this sort of thing in very real time, news shifting moment to moment? What have you learned about yourself?
Well, I always say I have the ability to focus, and I believe that is such an essential trait right now for me. I start at the highest why still, our theory of change, we're breaking the cycle of poverty through generational change. That doesn't change in the midst of the crisis. And then it's supported by our values. I've learned that I've always thought I've been a good communicator, but I've had to communicate in very many different ways, both personally to that individual staff member, making sure they're okay, all the way to the broad, you know, organizational message to our general community, and making sure that I'm really clear but compassionate in the way that I'm, because I speak very business-like, you know, and so I have to really make sure that I'm heartfelt, because I am heartfelt, but sometimes I have a tendency to be more just direct, you know, like as a business, because I came from business. And I think that served us well. And I have a great marketing team too that helps, you know, round out anything in any areas. But I just feel like it's, you know, they always say the great communicator. It's like, that's how I feel like I'm having to keep so many people aligned to what we're trying to accomplish. And then I think second secondly, it's that hope and opportunity. It's being super optimistic. I mean, I have my blue days too. Like, I'm not gonna say, like, oh. I was on a call with the Center for Leadership yesterday at Cal State Fullerton, and we were all just talking. We were having a subcommittee meeting for the awards event that they're moving to next fall, and we were just all just really open talking, and all of us are saying, like, yeah, it's been a lot, and these are business leaders and nonprofit leaders together. I think I'm the only nonprofit, but like, I think it's that connection to people like this with this podcast and, you know, what you're trying to accomplish. Even though we've known each other before this, which helps, but I've met people that I've never known. I've been on several podcasts, and but there's still this immediate connection through Zoom or whatever platform there is. And I'm really optimistic. I'm hoping that that stays with us beyond the COVID crisis, that we get back to the roots of humanity and connecting. And I just have a little side note that I have a new neighbor that moved into our neighborhood. And last night he dropped off brownies on our porch and said he was really happy to get to meet us one day. And I was just like, how awesome. So of course he gave me his phone number,
Right.
and I texted him like, I hope to meet you too one day, you know, because we're not out walking around. And, you know, I just hope those kinds of things keep going, you know. I sent out Easter cards to some friends in my life that, you know, I normally send Christmas cards out to, and I said, no, I'm gonna do an Easter card, because it was just more of a uplifting kind of thing. And I think if we all do little things in life, then hopefully it's a greater good.
Yeah. Dawn, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.